afternoon to all. Today we are going to start the new lesson from Unit 2nd. This is 10th Standard English Unit 2nd 2.5 Book Review Swami and Friends by R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan is an Indian writer, is an iconic figure of Indian writer, English writer especially. This is a different kind of reading material today we are going to see here. On page number 68, there are two activities. The first one is chit-chat activity. From this activity, you can prepare yourself for oral exam. You can read any book and find out the answer or find out necessary information according to the given topic. And you can prepare a paragraph to speak in oral exam. So the first chit-chat activity is given for you. This is individual activity. You can read it, you can find out it, you can write down, check it out and finalize it. Then the second activity is about that book which you have read. You could find out or easily find out the strengths and weaknesses of the book. Moreover, whenever we used to read such books, we can easily find out whether this book is interesting, whether this book is good one, whether this book is appropriate, whether this book is holding the reader or not. This is the strength, and if such strengths are not there, we can find out the weaknesses from the book also. Here some stars are given, so you can give the stars to that book which you have read. And the next third activity which is given on page number 68 is the determiners. Determiners in Marathi we could say them as Vyaktivachak. So determiners are given here, and from nearly 7th standard we could find out such determiners. We have learned them in our English, and we can easily find out such determiners from the given sentences which are on page number 68. Now I am on page number 69, and the picture of R.K. Narayan is given on page number 70. This is a different kind of material, as I earlier said you that this is a different kind of material. In this text, we are not going to see this textbook, Swami and Friends by R.K. Narayan, but we are going to see the book review. And book review is a kind of functional English. Whenever you have read whenever you have read any book, or you might have seen a film, you could tell about that film or novel to anyone. But you didn't tell exact all things. So you tell, or you try to tell, the gist of that movie, the gist of that novel, etc., etc. So here we are now going to learn, this is a new kind, this is a book review, and we could easily find out that book review is a very normal technique which you can do. If you are not able to read out any book thoroughly, line by line, page by page, you are not able to go like this, you can read out only reviews. So by reading the book review, you can decide whether I should read the book or not. What kind of book it is, what the writer did here, etc., etc. features are given. So on page number 69, a picture is given in the right side of your textbook. This is Swami and Friends. This is the book, actual book, which is written by R.K. Narayan. And we are going to see the review. Okay. So what is this book? Swami and Friends is a book which is written before 1947. Before 1947, before independence, by R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayanan is a prominent English writer and prominent Indian English writer is quietly acquainted the things, the skills, the vocabulary skill and etc. And this is the masterpiece of R.K. Narayanan. So Swami and Friends is a book which is written before 1947, before independence. So before 1947, our India was ruled by Britishers. Our India was ruled by Britishers. So you can imagine the way of education, the perspective towards the education of Britishers and perspective towards education of Indian people. So there are so many background things which could be understood easily to find out whether or how this book is prominent one. So book review is a kind of thing that the person who wrote this book review or a person who could write the book review throw the light on the book and the background thing of that book also. Not only about the book but also about the writer, his skill, his basic intention, his views, his use of English language, and so many things can be understood easily. So book review is a different kind of reading material. Up to this standard and up to this time, you haven't gone with such book review as my knowledge consists. So now I am on page number 69. Pay attention on 69. You could put your finger, you could put your index finger so that you can read out the lines from page number 69. A little bit about the book. Anything I mention about the book can be mistakenly understood as spoilers. So I could rather give a glance into the book without mentioning any events or plots of the story. The first introductory paragraph tells us that the writer is not going to tell the curiosity point. The writer is not going to kill the curiosity. To kill the curiosity is a phrase. So the climax point or the main point, core point will not be revealed by the writer, but writer will just call you, catch you, or can say that move us towards the reading of the book. Swami is a mischievous little kid of about 10 years old and living in the era where India was under the British rule. Like most kid of that age, Swami is a kid who cannot stay at one place and absolutely hates school, even worse mathematics. These two words can tell us that the student of that era or that time are not ready to go into the school willingly. They would like to be outside of the school but not in the school. And the second one, nearly so many student thinks that mathematics is a worst subject. It's a very difficult subject. So like this concept or like this view or with this view, Swami is a living person. Swami is a kid and he is near about 10 years old. So under the British rule, the India was not with this view that the education is very must. Education is the step towards the progress. Education is the key towards the progress. So many students like to indulge themselves outside of the school, near about the living places or any place. So Swami used to wander anywhere. School is his absolute nightmare. Anyway, nightmare means a frightening place, frightening experience place, where the teacher used to beat student and where the student, big bully student, used to tease small kids or little ones. So many students take fear of the school and they used to live outside of the school. Anyway, the story unfolds around the happenings of this kid and how he constantly gets into trouble and gets a good beating from his father. As a normal child of 10-year-old, Swami may have a good friend circle. So that's why the title is here, friends. So he may have a good circle. And Swami may be the leader of that friend circle group. So whenever that whole group did some mischievous thing, the award was given to Swami, and it was the beating by his father. So to beat a child for his mischievousness is a normal thing in that era also and in today also. But Swami used to be beaten by his father for so many times. Means he was a thoroughly mischievous boy. Swami is a talkative little kid. So we could understand here that Swami is a talkative kid. Means this is another characteristic. This is another characteristic. The first characteristic we have learned here, that he is a mischievous little kid. Second characteristic, he wants to live outside of the school. He was a nightmare. He was beaten by his father, and the next one now here, that he's a talkative. So he want to speak a lot. Whenever he came in contact with other people, he used to speak with so many things or with so many views in his mind. So speaking with anyone is a normal thing for a kid of 10-year-old. We can understood here. Swami is a talkative little kid and thinks that's his way of facing life, talking himself out of everything. He never put anything in his mind. So his mind was like an open book. He liked to speak with each other. He liked to speak with anyone. So this shows that Swami is a free-minded little boy. But he does learn the truth the harsh way. Life is not as easy as this boy was thinking. Life is tough one. But this 10-year little kid was not able to understand the bitter truth of the life. So he used to speak with everyone. As many teens back then, all he wants to do, now the activities are given here, which was the normal activities in that era when Swami was leaving. What he wants to do and what other students also or children also want to do, like to do, is play under the sun, kick something, climb a tree, break something, and harass somebody, means to create a chaos. So these are the activities. To play under the sun means to play outdoor games. Kick something, to use legs, and to kick something means to kick anyone. So many children used to kick small puppies whenever they used to come from school or whenever they used to go to school. On the way, whenever they saw a small puppy, they used to kick. And on the school's playground, they used to kick the ball. So to kick something, climb a tree. Climbing tree was a normal game in that era. Break something. Break something means here to catch something, to take out or to puddle the flowers, pluck the flowers or fruits. So break something and harass somebody and create a chaos, teasing. Harass somebody means teasing. This, in fact, was an important part of India, still is, the life of a typical boy growing up. So many children who are growing normally used to do these things. Technology isn't a big thing in kids' life. All they want is to play hava. Imagine that a boy who is living in the era, a boy who is living before 1947 lives without techno. At that time, technology was a very normal thing. In that way, this Swami is a typical boy in these growing years. In this regard, Narayanan gets deeply into the workings of Swami's 10-year-old mind, explaining executely how he thinks and what his perspective of the world is. The reader does feel like Swami and gets very attached with the character as the story progresses, and that's the magic of Narayanan. So, what is the magic of Narayanan? R.K. Narayanan wrote this book in this significant view or with the quality of things that anyone who will read Swami and Friends can easily find out the merits of R.K. Narayanan, the virtue of R.K. Narayanan. What is the significance of the book? Swami and Friends by R.K. Narayanan is not merely an interesting read that could be enjoyed from top to bottom, but the work attributes a large literary values even if it is a thin book, though it was a small one. But it is important here to understand the views, the thoughts, the things about R.K. Narayanan which was being used by for this book boy who is a Swami. Oh, the bell rang.